Hi, today we're going to do a lesson that's going to cover sitting and how to get into sitting and the cues and the best way to pay attention to arranging the body so that it's doable, feels a lot better than that forward-oriented posture, and we have a lot less pain. So to start with, the first thing you want to do is in organizing the pelvis from the trunk. And you want to be able, if I turn to the side, to have the pelvis in a position where you have a natural curve in your lower back. So when you're going to determine the amount of how much curve you need to have in your lower back in order to sit straight, especially for forward-oriented tasks, you want to go ahead and stand up. In standing, place your hand to the small of the back and feel how much of a curve is there. Is it flat? And actually run your hand up and down a little bit and see. Because when you sit down, if you monitor again the amount of curve that's back there, you'll find that in most of us, I'm kind of flat right now. I've lost that curve. And when you lose the curve, the normal inward curve of the lower back spine, when that curve goes the opposite way, then you can see that my upper body especially goes forward as a counterbalance. It continues to exaggerate with the weight going forward, with the weight going back, rounding of the spine, rounding of the shoulders. And we get into a position where we're overstrained, especially if we're doing a forward type of task. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and find a place where you can set that lower back curve. In order to set that lower back curve, you move your pelvis to do that. So the height of the chair, if it's too low, your knees are higher than your hips. That makes it harder for most of us to roll the pelvis. If the top of the pelvis is rolling in this way, that's called forward. If the top of the pelvis rolls back, of course it's called back. So you raise and lower the height of the chair, or add cushions, blankets, whatever you need, so that you're freely able to feel that you can roll the pelvis forward and the pelvis backwards. Forward rolling allows me to establish more of a curve. Backwards rolling takes away that curve. So from the side, if I found that in standing I have a certain amount of curve, I'm going to roll my pelvis until I can feel a similar amount. It's just a guide. It's not an absolute. Some of us, when we stand with way too much curve. We're what is called hyperlordotic. And that's not what we want to do necessarily in sitting. It is only a guide because most of us lose our curve from standing to sitting. So, adjust the chair, freely move in pelvis, see whether you can create a curve, increasing the curve, decreasing the curve. Got it. From that position then, you exaggerate a little bit too much in the lower back curve and you back off of it a little bit. That should still give you what would be called a neutral position. In that neutral position then, you want to arrange the rest of the body. So the shoulders and the head would be the next areas. Because once you're able to sit with the head, neck, shoulders, and trunk, pelvis in a straight line, you'll be able to breathe more freely in a diaphragmatic way versus if you're sitting in a slumped position where the chest comes on top of the belly. Back is round, shoulders are forward, head is forward. Then you won't be able to take as deep of a diaphragmatic breath. It'll impede that normal flow. The nervous system will not be modulated in that nice rocking breath rhythm that normal diaphragmatic breathing gives us. So better oxygenation, better relaxation, more evenness of the nervous system when we're properly breathing. Proper posture gives us proper breathing. So once we've set pelvis, lower back curve, we check our shoulders. A really nice thing is to do a pivot prone position, or some people call this the New York position. Basically, it is with bent elbows, and you can do this at home now, all right? So just bend your elbows, bring your hands out to your sides, turn your palms away so that you open the front chest area, squeezing the shoulder blades back and down so that you feel as though your elbows are coming towards those back pockets. In that position, make sure that the movement of the opening of the shoulder blades and the opening of the chest doesn't extend the spine and lift the chest. This is a patterned movement or an undifferentiated movement. Doing just the shoulders and arms without lifting the chest and backward bending of the spine is an isolated movement or a differentiated movement. So in this position, you can see now that if my shoulders were forward, head was forward, at least coming into that pivot prone position or candelabra position allows you to open that position of the shoulders. Let the hands rest down without losing your shoulder blade position, arm bone position. Then, if the head is at all forward, you do that chin tucking movement. Pulling the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck, not too extreme, but just enough so that you avoid doing pulling the head back and lifting the chin. That actually crunches the neck or compresses the back of the neck and over lengthens the front. What we want to do is the opposite. Pull the head back, with the chin dropping a little bit, opening the back of the neck, so that we get this head, neck, shoulders, pelvis, all in a straightish line. Then your weight is more balanced through the bony structure and not on the ligaments and the muscular system. Adjust the height of the chair, allow the pelvis to be mobile, roll the pelvis so that you can feel a curve that's similar to when you're standing. Roll it the other way, just so that you find a place in between those two movements. One way that I like to do it is go too far in that arching or curve and back off of the pelvis. Then set the shoulder blades, arms, relax the hands, check the head position, drop the chin, extend the back of the neck, then balance the weight so that you feel, especially if you're doing a forward-oriented task of writing or keyboarding or talking to somebody in front of you, that you're not being pulled to that forward position again, where your back is going to round, you're going to lose the position, you're not going to breathe as well or deeply. So in a forward-oriented position, keep the load of the body going through the bones, through your sitting bones. open in front, and see whether that gives you a better position in which to work from, either in your meditation or in your just sitting postures, especially unsupported sitting.